It's a dirty job, as they say. Somebody's got to do it. So, in closing, there's got to be CIA reform. It is a must. As humbly as I know it, I may be the first CIA officer. They call you a CIA agent, but that's a misnomer. You're a CIA officer. You're kind of an officer similar to the military grade. You're a CIA officer. If you're a CIA agent, you've been recruited by the CIA to spy against your government. So CIA agent is a misnomer. CIA officer is someone who's reached those ranks. Anyway, intelligence analysis is necessary. Truman's original goal of an intelligence analysis outfit that provides objective intelligence to the president to make decisions is a good thing. That was Truman's original intent. Yes, we need something like that. Something like that should be developed again. The National Security Act of 1947 needs to be rescinded. That gives the CIA the power to conduct undefined covert operations needs to be rescinded. That power needs to be taken away from the CIA now. There's been too many gross violations, too much abuse of secrecy, too much control of the U.S. government for this to continue any longer. And I think, this is starting, the public is starting to demand that the CIA be dismantled, the National Security Act be rescinded, and an actual intelligence agency be recreated in the form that it was originally intended. Dissolve all CIA covert action. Every single one, the majority ones, have been an abject failure and backfired and caused national security to be hurt worse than if that operation has never been done before. That's what corruption and secrecy will do. It will backfire every time, and it will wind up coming back and hurting national security, not helping it. Restructure the U.S. intelligence apparatus and take away its power of secrecy. Restructure it so that it has congressional approval, and that monster is put back underneath the Constitution. If we want to survive as a constitutional republic, if we want to survive, that's got to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's over for us. Full disclosure to the American people of what this is doing, full disclosure of the tax revenue budget, because it's coming out of our pockets. If you're going to use tax money, at least through our congressmen that we've elected, we need to know where that tax money is going. And we need to know exactly, shadow government, what you're spending this money on, because it's the American people's money and it's our tax dollars, and we demand that you tell us what you're spending it on. No more secret budgets, no more corruption with our tax dollars. An impartial committee to monitor the use of government secrecy. We need a government secrecy oversight committee staffed by officials elected by the American people. No more abuse of government secrecy. It is the new tyrannical power. It's the new tyranny of our age, is secrecy. And there needs to be a council appointed by the people that oversees the use or abuse of government secrecy, puts that back under the Constitution. Remember that the shadow government hates the light. Just like cockroaches, the shadow government hates exposure. That's why we got this Donald Trump thunderstorm thing going on. The shadow government, like a cockroach, hates light. What does it say? Sunlight is the best antiseptic. Shadow government hates being exposed. It'll do anything to stop it, and I mean anything. In my case, they almost did anything to stop it. There needs to be a grassroots civil movement across America. We need to establish thousands of groups united around the Constitution. Constitution groups that are both Democratic and Republican coming together under the Constitution and stopping this monster. If you love your country, you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent, you need to come together under the Constitution and stop this, because your country is going, and it's going fast. That's what's at stake. We need to cause a social media storm. We need to get impartial news and information groups out there with credible journalists that are publishing this stuff over the internet to the American people and beyond, with credible, accurate information that's going around the bought and paid for news media, so that people are informed. Cause a social media storm. We have that, at least for now. Get this out there, educate people as to what's going on. And when people it takes one person to lead a movement, and then other people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, then other people will follow. Somebody's just got to take the first step. And then you get out on the social media, you start accurately and credibly putting this stuff out, you cause a social media storm. Fire them all. Congressmen and senators who are now statesmen and are no longer following the Constitution, who are lying to us, spending our money on things we have not authorized them to do, and are not fulfilling their constitutional responsibility, the Congress and the Senate, fire them all. And elect new people, congressmen and senators, that are constitutionalists at every level federal and state, but specifically federal. It's time to do some house cleaning. It's past time. Demand total intelligence agency reform. Demand it and do not let that go. Demand it. We the people are still here, at least physically. So demand it. We have to demand it. We have to push it. We must never forget, this is government by the people. Remember that thing called the Constitution? This is government by the people. It's not the other way around. Although they forced it into being that way, it's not the other way around. The Congress and Senate are your representatives. They work for you. They serve you. Now, that's not what they're doing, but constitutionally, that's what they're supposed to do under the law, under constitutional law. Constitutional government serves the people. We don't serve the government. It's not our master. The government is our master. The Founding Fathers were brilliant. They were studies of history. They knew that's the only way it was going to work. It was a brilliant, brilliant piece of work. But they did a lot of study of history and past governments before they wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. A lot of study went behind that. Government violation of the Constitution are what? Felonies. Okay? Our government, the shadow government, has committed multiple felonies. You have to remember that. They've broken the law at the highest levels. They're doing this secretly using our tax dollars. They're picking this money out of our back pocket to do these things without our knowledge. And the weapon of tyranny is always fear. From communism to fascism, all the way down to the tyranny of secrecy, the weapon of the shadow government is fear. They want us to fear them. They want us to fear what they can do to us if we talk about them. They want us to fear what they can do to us if we try to stand up and expose what they're doing. They want us to just leave them alone, be afraid of them. You talk to anybody on the street, I really don't want to know what the CIA is doing. You know, just let them do what they want to do. I just don't want to go there. Exactly. The weapon of tyranny is fear. All down through history, that's always been the case. So do not fear the shadow government. Once you fear, whatever that entity is, controls you. If you don't fear, you're free. I always like to wrap my talks up with this famous quote attributed to Thomas Jefferson because it's so true. When people fear their government, there is tyranny. But the reverse is true. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. They need to fear us. They need to see us getting up at times like this and saying, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. We the people are not going to put up with this. And guess what? Now we have the guts and we have the courage to stand up against you because we don't fear you anymore. Then they got a problem. All the way down through history, movements have started just like this when people stop fearing tyranny and their government. So that's all I have for tonight. Thanks for being patient. Please remember this. This is going to be in two parts available on fortheloveoffreedom.net, I think is the website that we're putting up. Take this message, please, and just spread it around and stand up with me and the rest of us that are doing this humbly before the Constitution. Stand up, and together as the American people, we can do it. So anyway, thanks you all. Thanks for coming.